So I'm on the People tab where we can see the sites on the left here and the nurses on the two-way texting nurses hub here, where we'll select the new action for the enrollment of the new client for Shangri. So once we have selected the new action, it will give us the enroll new client option, which is popping up right there. And once we've selected that, it will take us to the page where we will enter the client's details. So first of all, it requires you to enter the client's name. Here we'll enter Mickey Mouse as the client. And the next part of the enrollment requires us to enter the name of the facility where the client is going to be enrolled. So when we have our facility already selected, it will give us a drop-down of the facility where the client is. So I'm going to select Arcadia here. Sorry, apologies. I'm going to select Arcadia here. Where it will give me to specify enrollment location where the client will be. So Arcadia is a sub-location of Marondera, which I will enter physically. Then as we go down the list, it will request the client number, which has already been generated when the client has been admitted for VMMC. It's a 5-digit number, but the last 5 digits of the number where the client will be allocated. The next part of the enrollment requires the client's age in years. And for adults who are up to 18 years old, it will not require the person who the owner of the phone is. But for a client who is under the age of 18, for example, if I enter 16 years of age, the system will ask you whether the phone belongs to the minor or the guardian, so that the two-way texting nurse may know whom they are communicating with at any given time. So for now, for this demonstration, I will put an adult who's 18 years old, where I will go straight to entering the phone number of the client. Here, there is an instruction where the phone number has to start with +263, which is the code for Zimbabwean phone numbers. Each number that you enter onto the system has to start with +263 as instructed here, then the 9 digits that follow. They're like that. And if there is a next of kin number, we enter that next of kin number. But if there's no next of kin, that part can be left out. As you can see, it does not hold a star like the previous part of the enrollment. Then now coming to the method that the client is going to be circumcised with, there's an option for either surgical or shangling method. For this demonstration, we are going to select the shangling method. And for the shangling method, the difference with the surgical method is that they receive pretty much the same messages, but the messages are specific to the care of the shangling method. And the first review that the client is asked to come back to the clinic for the removal of the shangling is at 7 days, then 14 days, and then the last review is at 49 days. Unlike the surgical, where the client is having the bandage removed at day 2, then a review at day 7, and the last one at day 42. But any other reviews that come in between can be entered in the client record as part of the other reports that are within the two-way texting system. Then last but not least, as part of the enrollment, we select the language which the client is going to be using. For this demonstration, I will choose Shona. And then after doing that, we hit the submit button. After hitting the submit button, you've pretty much completed the enrollment, but please make sure that you have checked that all the information is correct before hitting the submit button by going back up, especially on the phone number, so that we ensure that the correct client receives the messages and at the proper time that they're supposed to receive them for care. The end.
When you hit the submit button, the client should be able to see the message on their phone, and you should be able to verify that as the person enrolling them. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. Yes.
Perfect. Thank you so much for that clarification.
Mhm.